Hello class. Today we're diving more into budgeting. We're going to look again at our interactive notebook. This is 9.3 part 1. What we are going to be talking about today is how to make a budget. So we've done a lot of practice on identifying our wants and our needs, and we've talked about fixed income or fixed expenses and variable expenses. Remember, fixed stay the same from month to month, and variable may change. An example would be your cell phone bill, and your rent is probably the same every month, where your entertainment and groceries may be more variable and change. So what we're going to be doing is talking about gross and net income. We're going to try to understand the importance of using net income when budgeting. That's income after taxes. Discussing the 50-20-30 rule and other budgeting strategies to help you in creating your own budget and saving money. And last, we are going to try to create a budget based on salary. On page number 3, this is the second actual page of words in our interactive notebook for today. We are going to do a little self-reflection based on thinking. You don't need to write, I just want you to sit back and think as I read this. Do you use a budget currently to manage your money? If yes, how did you create that budget? If no, what are the first 3 steps that you would take to create a budget for yourself? What is the difference between gross and net income? One of the first steps in creating a budget is to determine how much income you have. However, using your annual gross salary when creating a budget can be misleading. Watch this video to understand what the difference is between gross income and net income, and then answer these questions. Number 1. In your own words, describe the difference between gross income and net income. Why do you think that it's important to use your net income, not gross income, in creating a budget? So on this page you can see that we have a circle graph or a pie graph or pie chart, and these are simple budgeting rules. This is a drag and drop, so you're going to drag these words up into the percentages that match the categories. This 50% category, this is the category that means for things like your mortgage, your rent, your utilities, which word matches. Right over here, this is for things like entertainment, your hobbies, your yoga classes, your clothes, which is 30%. And then your last one is savings goals. The thing we're going to talk about is the 50-30-20 rule. That's where, when you're budgeting, you put 50% of your net income, your take-home pay, into your needs category, 30% into your wants category, and then pack 20% away into your savings. If you'd like to find out more about the 50-20-30 rule or 50-30-20 rule, you can go to this website over here. The thing Miss Hoffman and I'd like you to do is to reflect on why you might use the 50-30-20 rule. Why is it good? How can it help you budget? What are some downsides of the 50-30-20 rule? In this next sheet, you have 12 budget tips. The directions are to read and listen to this article and then answer these prompts. So the first one says budgeting every month before the month begins. The notes from the article say, think ahead of time. What is the second tip? And that tip refers to accounting for every dollar. The third tip is track every expense. What does it mean from the article? This is the budgeting article, the one that you're going to use to fill out the 12 tip and meaning chart, and I'm just going to briefly read some of these. Number 1 tip, Budget every month before the month begins. With every dollar, it's easy. You can copy this month's budget into the next month's budget. Think about your unique spending habits and your income. Remember, you need to budget each month. Number 2, budget zero. Budget to zero. Add all your resources, your income, your fixed expenses, what's common from month to month. Give every dollar a name and a meaning. Then you're going to track your expenses. Then you're going to review your spending habits. Then you're going to set a realistic budget. If you're trying to save on groceries, for example, you've done all the coupon clipping, the meal planning, the buy one, get one free or BOGO shopping that you can, but you still are overspending each month, you probably need to get a grocery budget. Make an adjustment. Don't freak out. Budgets are never perfect, but you want to make adjustments based on your spending habits. Create a miscellaneous category. This miscellaneous category is because things come up. Sometimes we forget things. Month to month, things change. So set aside some money for your miscellaneous category. Budget for annual and semi-annual expenses. So annual is once a year. Remember that semi-annual is twice a year. What are things that might come up then that we need to plan ahead for? Save for big purchases, but don't save all at once. Save a little bit at a time. Understand the difference between needs and wants. We've spent some time on that, haven't we? And give yourself grace. You'll make mistakes. You'll have to adjust things. It generally takes at least 3 months before you get the hang of it. Let's go back and finish the table. The 4th tip, it means thinking about your spending habits and cutting back on your budgets. The 5th tip, realistic budget, what is it? And keep working down the page. Finish the table. What was number 8? It had to do with setting up a fund for expenses that only happen 1 or 2 times a year. Look at 11. Understand the difference between needs and wants. What did it say in the article about that? And our next page. These are reflection questions. Question number 1. The image recommends that you put 20% of your income toward your savings and financial goals. What are financial goals? What are your financial goals? What financial goals do you have? If you were recently graduating from high school or trade school or college, what would be your money goals? List them here. Number 2, what are 2 tips from the article? 2 things from the page before. 2 things that you think that you could manage right now. Things that you feel like you could control and would be good first steps for you. That might be different than somebody else in the class. When you're done with the reflection, we'd like you to go do the exit ticket back in Schoology. Have a good day.